What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Be More, where I teach you how to be better, smarter, wiser with your videos and live streams. And we also have Be More moments where we talk a little bit about what's going on in media. And in fact, that Be More moment thing was a brainchild and a suggestion from my guest today. She is a friend to the show. You saw her like a week ago on this last one, and she's back again. We'll welcome Shawanna Kennedy right after this.
Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire.
Okay, let's just get right to it. I told you we have a guest. You don't need to hear from me all the time, but let's bring on someone we do need to hear from. Shawanna Kennedy. Shawanna!
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you?
I am amazing. How about you? Hello, everyone. What's up?
I'm fine, and I'm sure they're fine. I'm speaking for them, but yeah, I'm just gonna go with they're fine. You look radiant, hair silk pressed to the gods. Good for you.
Yeah, you know, I try. If anyone understands natural hair, then it is a chore. It's a chore.
But it's a joy of a chore to have,
Yes.
to be honest.
It is.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I brought you on today for a reason, but before we do that, give us a brief synopsis of who you are once again, in case people haven't seen you before.
Thank you, Dr. Tachi. Well, I am Shawanna Kennedy, and I get to host You First and C-Suite on who? Indie Soup Media Network. I'm excited to be doing that. Also, I get to act as the video productions director and help other people just like you create shows just like this. So I'm excited that I get to help people to be seen, heard, and even paid by giving more visibility to their brand. So what we have to do, we have to show up so we can show out, and people need to know, they need to hear from you. And so that's why I'm here. I'm excited about this conversation with Dr. Tachi, and I can't wait to hear from who? From you.
It's time to be seen and be heard. I took that from Shawanna Kennedy. Now, I didn't mention this the last time we spoke, but this whole Be More moment where I'm looking at stuff in the media and relating it to what I do actually came because you asked for that one time. So I said, all right, no problem. I'll keep doing it. I will do it and then keep doing it. So that's where the Be More moment came up. So let me say publicly, thank you, thank you, thank you, 3 times.
Right.
So today, this is very interesting. Have you seen the commercial it's a Walmart commercial, and it is starring oh my gosh, I said Tay Diggs, Lorenz Tate. It's starring Lorenz Tate and Nia Long. Have you seen that?
I have. Yes.
Okay. So let's start with, what did you think of the commercial? What did it bring up in your mind as you watched it?
Well, I immediately felt warm and fuzzy because, of course, they are two greats. Warm, fuzzy. It was reminiscent when you think back to 1997, I believe, when it came out. So, of course, it took me back in time. And of course, with the gift of what they gave, that put me back in a place. And for me, there's nothing like music to mark a moment. And especially, I already know, and when you think about psychology and how emotion and music, it does mark times for us in our life. And so it took me back to a time, but then also, I know that's why we're gonna have to talk about this in the conversation, is why is Walmart bringing this out? Yeah, we need to get into that, Dr. Tachi, because I felt warm and fuzzy, but then that other part of my brain said, there's more to this.
Absolutely, there is definitely more to this. And for me, it made me think about what was going on and what I was doing way back in 1997. 1997 is like almost 20. Wait,
it's 27 years.
Yeah,
28, almost 28 years.
Yeah. So it made me think. And I remember I went to the movies with my friends to go see it. And actually, Love Jones is one of my favorite movies. So if we didn't talk about the movie that this is reminiscent from, or we didn't give the name, I don't think we did. It is Love Jones. And of course, the stars were Lorenz Tate and Nia Long. And it really looks at the journey through their relationship, from their meeting at a record store and then all the way through him chasing her on a train. This is always the way.
But they were really smart. They were really smart to pull them in, especially with so many things that's going on, right? And that's why I know this conversation is going to be great, because you got a mix here. You got a mixed bag with all of the things that's going on in the world today, to then bring that up at the holidays. And it's like, what are you doing? But I get it. I get part of it though, too. Let's talk about it. It's business.
But were they smart to pull them in? So we can't leave the elephant in the room untouched. We have to talk about it. Okay. That big old elephant, gray, wrinkly elephant sitting in the armchair in the living room. And you're just like, would you like some cereal? No, there's something else there. So they did that. And obviously, as Shawanna was saying, they did that because it is very nostalgic. Those of us from that time remember Love Jones, remember all those feelings. That was also, and I was saying this earlier today, that was at the time when Neo Soul was first coming out. It was a big time in DC because Neo Soul was all over DC. It really helped, in addition to go-go, to help shape the music scene in DC as well. So, and they could have been us. That could have been our story. So that's why it's so nostalgic. Plus, it's just a great movie. So you take that great movie and Walmart is like, hey, I don't know who the ad agency is. I need to do some research that did this, or if it was in-house, but approached whoever and said it would be great to recreate or extend the story of Love Jones. And so what the commercial does, and I have to explain because I need to give a little bit of background for people who have never seen Love Jones. The two stars, the two protagonists or whatever of Love Jones, they are seen in this Walmart commercial. Nia Long opens the door and there's a package from Walmart. She brings it in and opens it, and Lorenz Tate, she's like, basically, is this for me? And he says, I don't like to wait. So in that package is a record player, right? A turntable. And the music, one of the songs, Hopeless, I can't remember who the artist is, but I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. So one of that song is playing, and it is on the soundtrack of Love Jones. By the way, Love Jones had an epic soundtrack. I still listen to it to this day. So that was playing. Then he gets another record, another nostalgic record, and plays it. And they're dancing. They start to dance. And this is what happens in one of the scenes in Love Jones as well. The difference here is Nia Long hears and she plays Nina in the film. So Nina, played by Nia Long, turns around after she hears like a click, and the click is what looks to be their teenage daughter. That it indicates that, all right, they got together, they now live together.
It shows family. It shows family. It shows warm. It shows cozy.
Exactly. And the daughter is just as happy to see them dancing. Now, would they be as happy and laughing had they known that just the week before this came out, Walmart ended a lot of their diversity, equity, and inclusion programs? They rolled back all of their DEI programs. Now, here's my thing with this. So we're looking at this, folks, in terms of what this means for media, what the lessons are here. We're looking at all of this. This is what I see. So number one, we are good enough for you to sell to. You will take our dollars because we are huge consumers and we spend a lot of money there. You'll take our dollars, but we're not good enough to work there. It gives me vibes of, remember the signs you would see during the civil rights movement of don't shop where you can't work. Yes. This is what that reminds me of. And I'm seeing that. And I've seen a lot on social media using that for those particular images. So you want us to shop there, but you're not willing to ensure that we can work there. Okay. So whatever you feel about DEI, to me, this is exactly what that message is. Here's another thing. Well, you know what? Before I go on, let me let you get in because I know you.
No.
Have
I know, because you see what it is that you're taking this bite at this elephant, like a bite at a time and a bite at life. I felt you actually kind of like moving up his leg, right? You were on his leg going up talking about this elephant.
Why are we talking about eating elephants?
Because you said it was the elephant in the room.
There is an elephant in the room, but I don't want to cook it and eat it, Shawanna.
That's what we're doing. We're cooking it up right now. We're cooking it up. And here's the
Peter,
thing.
we're sorry.
Here is the thing with that. It's a number of ways that it can be viewed, because it's, to me, they're just like so many others. Where do you see the average Walmart, right? Think about the communities that the Walmarts are in. I also have my own thought as to say, hey, they probably was one of the main ones saying when they said, "Ooh, we can take this off the list now." Boom, they checked that box, right? Hey, I'm a woman of color. I get it. This was something that they probably had to have as a check item to say, hey, we checked this box. Are there a certain amount of Black females, Black African-American men? You already know, anybody that's ever worked in the industry, in any industry, as it relates to when you have to have diversity, when you have to have, especially being even in the state of Georgia. And I know, hey, we won't say that, but we know where shopping is a pleasure. They pride themselves on having diverse employees from across all cultures, because they want people to feel welcome to come in to shop there, right? So to me, it's not by chance that right now during the holiday season, right when they roll this out, they have to do something to still bring the fuzziness to people like us, people of color, to still want to shop in their stores. And if we be honest, for some of us, those are the only stores that are closest to where some of our people even live. So they're still, unfortunately, they're still going to shop there. They're still going to shop there.
So I get it is a business move, because on there, they're not trying to be nice. It's purely a business move. And let me preface this by saying, I realized that all of this was shot well before it came out. And you have to do that for your holiday season. You're shooting commercials in June, July, and August, basically. So this is something that was already pre-shot. I get that. But using common sense, knowing that there is a lot of contention because of the election that just happened, and because now people think because of that, they can roll back anything that has to do with including people, and not even just including them. We deserve to be there. Let's be real. It's not about inclusion. We deserve to be there. So now that people think they can roll it back because it's safe to roll it back, even if you thought that, it shows extreme disrespect in my eyes that you do it right after you show this commercial, right after you rolled something back. Do you think this is what I'm asking. Do you think we're that stupid? And
we're not stupid. However, people are going to be mad, but people still have to shop. Now that's just me. They're gonna be angry. They're gonna be angry. You will have, and if you've seen anything online, you already have people that say, hey, they will never get another single dollar of my money. But then you also have people that say, hey, they still have, at the end of the day, I still have to spend my money. However, and even when I think about the actors, for them, it's like, oh, wow, now we're in this, right? They didn't know, like you said, this was filmed way before this stuff was going on. This stuff already happened. They got their paycheck, right? So it's not even about them. Love you guys to death. Love you, love you, love you.
Yes.
It's like now they're like this poster child saying, oh, crap. Now we're in this, behind this, and that's why people do need to, we perish for the lack of knowledge. That should make other people to want to be more knowledgeable about what is going on behind the scene. We already know this is a money move, because they still want our people to spend and shop at their stores.
Absolutely. It is a money move. And
they still had to think about it. All the money that was spent, even for that commercial,
there was a lot of money spent for that commercial.
They were not about to blow that money, even if at the table they say, oh, okay, we're making this decision. It was still a decision. They said, no, we're still running with this campaign. We're still running with this campaign.
Is a drop in the bucket for them. Do you know how much they make? If they scrap that whole campaign, and this shows that you are not trying to be sensitive to anything at all, because you don't care. So if they scrapped that campaign, it still wouldn't matter, because they still have enough money to wrap the earth several times over.
You just said it. Hey, you just said it. They're not sensitive. What have we been dealing with the last 60 days?
No, absolutely. But I'm not expecting sensitivity from them at all.
And they're not. Yeah, and we don't know who's in that boardroom either saying, okay, and it is what it is. We know we may feel a little wrinkle, a little bump, but at the end of the day, people will calm down. And at the end of the day, if you need some eggs, milk, butter, and that's the closest store, right? They're going to pull in there. They may not give them all the hundreds and thousands of dollars that they've been given over the course of a year, but it's still a numbers game. And that's why those stores from the very beginning was positioned in certain neighborhoods to begin with.
But will we calm down? This is what I'm asking. Some people may, but on the whole, the reason the civil rights movement worked was because people didn't calm down, and they're like, no, we're tired of this. I don't care if this is the only store. I will drive you someplace else. So that's really what it's going to take.
And it takes platforms like this. Let's say that because this is about be more it will take more of people showing up, speaking on it, speaking out about it, because if we be quiet, that's what will happen. It will continue to fade in the background. It's going to continue to fade. That's why we do have to doing what we're doing, using our platforms to bring, like we said, we're not faulting those actors. We're not faulting them because this was, we don't know what their contracts were. They had no idea. And if they did, at the end of the day, let's be real, that's still a paycheck for them. So, hey, get your money. Matter of fact, I'll take your money and I will then do something as a philanthropist, to help my people. So I'm going to take your money and then I'm going to go help my people.
Right. And so, but see, this is the thing, that's what has to happen. And we have no clue that is what's going to happen. Now, again, we are not sitting here placing blame solely upon the actors, all the actors, the three in there, anybody who worked on that, anybody who shot that. We're not placing blame with you because, again, this was done well before these actions. But I will say this is why we always get caught up in movements. And I'm not just talking about in these movements. I'm not just talking about Black people. I'm talking about in general, because you don't pay attention to what happens over time or what has happened over time. If you look historically over time, you will see the practices that were not that these unsavory practices in terms of their workers. You will see the things that have happened. So the thing is, the evidence is there that they have not been so fine and upright in the past, and they continue to not be so fine and upright. It's only public shame that keeps them from, completely wilding out. But if you do a little bit of research, you will see the evidence is there that this has always been the MO, right? To some extent, however big or small. So if you don't do your due diligence as an actor, as an influencer, as a content creator, and then you partner with an entity that does not align with your goals and does not align with your values and morals, then that's on you. So I'm saying this because I've seen no less than probably 5 to 10, between 5 and 10, and I know there are way more YouTube videos, because I watch a lot of YouTube videos that are doing things, collaborations with them. They're like, hey, come with me with my Walmart haul. Hey, let me show you the 10 best things you can decorate your space for the holidays with from Walmart, or put in your retailer of choice, right? That doesn't have great practices. So I've seen that. So again, not blaming you, because you probably signed the contract and it's been for a while and it's over a period of time. But again, had you done due diligence and do your research to see if these things align, because I bet you any amount of money, most of the creators that are partnering they're not for the dismantling of democracy. They are not for rolling back DEI. I bet you there may be some that are, then you're in the right place. But I bet you many of them are like, oh no, this is terrible, because I watched some of them and they were really sad after the election in terms of what happened. So I can tell you're not for this. Why are you still partnered with entities like this? So I blame you for that. I blame you for not doing the due diligence. And again, I get it's money, but there's no other jobs, nobody else you can partner with, nobody. I refuse to believe that. And that's why we're always in this predicament, because we always think, oh, well, I'll never get another check. Go someplace else.
Come on. No, you know what? But hey, we have to bring this in, because I know it's at least one person watching right now. Come on, Judas and Jesus.
Hey, Judas listen, yes. Come on, throwing the bits of silver out. Yes.
Come on, I'm just saying. Hey, you were going down there. My mind could not help but take me to there. What I'm saying, I actually threw that in there to say this. This is something that has been since the beginning of time. But it does take the faithful few to stay at it. Otherwise, we would be totally dismantled. There would be nothing. We would have never even, had it not been for things like that back then, there would have never been a civil rights movement if there's not always somebody. That's why we have to be okay to know what we are called to do. Be more be on what it is that you know you're called to do. You're looking, you're listening, do your job, do what it is that you know that you're called to do, because somebody else, actually, there will still be a Judas, and they will still be your friend. They will still help you. They will. I mean, we're here. This is not heaven. I say we can experience a little bit of heaven on earth. However, we're still on earth. We're still flesh. There's still things that are decaying. There's still things that are happening. But if you know that you're one of those people that have been chosen and there's a call on your life to help make things different and better, do your job so that when we have these conversations, we can look back. You know, one of the things that I often say, do something today that your future self will thank you for. It's like what the things, when I think about, because I am a truly person that believe in gratitude and being grateful. And I'm so grateful for the space that I'm in right now. But then I have to thank my past self for the things that I did, the sacrifices, the things that I went without to even have me to where I am right now today. But then I even talk to Shawanna of today and say, Shawanna of today, do what you need to do today so that your future self will thank you for. And I'm also a big proponent on the things that we do now that our children's children and the people that are coming that may not ever know a Shawanna Kennedy will then still, somebody will look at them and say, one of my ancestors, because we are standing on the shoulders, right? Some of us are standing on top of the heads of our ancestors who slaved and who did so many things so that we can have the benefits. Let's talk about the benefits of the things, even being on the airwaves right now. So do something today that your future self, yourself could be your children, yourself could be that job, that the things that you create, the inventions that you do, the words that you say, the words that you write, the songs that you sing. Do something today that your future self will thank you for, and we won't have to worry about diversity and inclusion because we're being illuminated. We're the light of that thing, and then someone else will then gravitate towards us, right? Because when you're a good thing, the people will come. Yeah.
Absolutely. I believe that. And that was a word. By the way, the elephant in the room is saying thank you. Well, that was a word, definitely. But, I think that, trying to put this in a nice package if you can. I think that here's the thing. If you are a company, you exist because you have customers.
Yeah.
All money spends. So the fact that you alienate certain customers because you are not sensitive to who they are speaks volumes to you. And why should we then purchase anything from there? And then the fact that you then put out a commercial and it's not just talking about Walmart, it could be anyone, a commercial that is insensitive or discounts the fact that you just did something that is anti-us is insulting to our intelligence. And believe me, we are highly intelligent. So that's definitely insulting. So if you're a business owner, the big thing is communication wise, media wise, you need to watch what media you put out there, and you need to see if it's being put out there at the appropriate time. Here's the lesson. I don't think Walmart did it at the right time. So I don't care that you spent all this money on it. Now you could end up losing more money because you've alienated a group of customers. Congratulations. Did that work for you? So the second thing is, now we're looking at the whole ecosystem of content creation, of influencing, of brand partnerships and brand sponsorships. At the end of the day or beginning of the day, at the top of the hour, whatever the saying is, you are the one that makes the decision who to work with. So yeah, they may say, hey, I want to work with XYZ, but you don't have to work with them if they don't align with your vision. Let me give you a really quick example. Then I'm going to hand it over to you to wrap us up. I listened to a podcast called The Read. Kid Fury and Crystal, and it's basically about culture, and it's really cool. So periodically I will listen to the read. They are on a podcast network. I think they're still on it, called the Loudspeakers Podcasting Network. And there are a few big podcasts that are on there. So the late Combat Jack, may he rest, is the one who founded that. And he was on a panel for podcasters one day. And he talked about the fact that there was a big brand, a beer brand, who had approached the Read and wanted to partner with them. And they said, well, no, because we don't drink beer. That is integrity right there. They may drink everything else, but they don't drink beer. So it's disingenuous for me to partner with you to laud how great you are as a beer brand if I can't stand the taste of beer, if I don't drink beer. So that's where I'm coming from. That to me was one of the best examples of integrity and keeping true to your brand, because it's not just about that brand you're working with. You have a brand as well. Keeping true to your brand by only aligning yourself with brands you use, with brands you believe in, with brands that align with your vision, your mission, your goals, your values, and your morals. So that's what I'm taking away from this whole thing. And I'm going to be looking at you, content creators. And again, I'm not faulting you, because I get we have to make money. But okay, one other thing. The great Mario Armstrong, who is like a mentor to me, he said this when you're looking at getting or securing brand partnerships and brand sponsorships, because he is an amazing wizard when it comes to this. He says, make a list of who you would like to partner with on one side of your paper. On the other side, make a list of the competitors. Who else is there that's in the same space? I would say do the same thing for people. Once you find out they don't align with your values, but you still want to be in that space, make a list, do some research of who else is in that space, whether it's a hardware store, a restaurant, a skating rink, whatever it is, who else is in that space that aligns with your values. I want to say it's very simple. It's not simple, but it's as simple as that, because we keep getting treated the same way the more we fall for the nonsense. Go ahead, Shawanna, take us home.
No, I just wanted to add, because that was great. And just even to add just a little bit what I had already stated.
Please
do. Just remembering that we do have power, we have authority, and we have to use our power and authority wisely. That's really what it is. It's not always taking the easy way. It's taking the wise way. And when we want to operate in wisdom, and you want to be able to be trusted. Now, I know for some of you, you are very powerful, you're very strong, and I'm all about all of those things. But then, yes, we want God to be able to trust us with trouble. And in this case, there's some trouble going on. So you don't want to be caught on the wrong side. So just watch it, because even when people are not saying anything, they are still watching what we are doing as creators, right? As the things that we do when we show up online, what we're saying, what we're doing, even our nonverbal. There's so many things when we think about being online. What are you saying? What do you represent? And then you want to be able to, years from now, if those things come back up, if they Google your name, you don't want to be ashamed of anything that you ever produce. So use your power wisely. And remember, do something today that your future self will thank you for.
And hopefully your future self will thank you for watching this episode of Be More, because this was quite fire. We got quite fiery, and hopefully what we said will resonate with you. It doesn't mean you have to act on what we said, or that you have to even believe what we said, but hopefully it gives you a moment to pause about what you consume in the media, and when you create media and you're looking to partner, who you do it with. And hopefully all of this will help you to learn to be more with your videos and live streams. Until next time, because there will be a next time. Cheers.